Hey, maid. Is dinner ready yet? My husband's sister, Aurora, playfully called out to me. Huh? Is she referring to me as a maid? I was a bit taken aback, but I understood that she was probably calling for me. I continued preparing the meal, ignoring her. Hey, I'm talking to you. Are you listening? I'm talking to you. No doubt about it, she was indeed addressing me. She must have been getting carried away, after observing her mother's strict, stern interactions with me. Well, I thought it's about time I set things straight. Just as I was thinking that, my mother-in-law, Patricia, sternly said to Aurora, "You, don't get too carried away." Huh? I'm getting carried away? Aurora continued with her playful attitude toward her mother. However, what happened next would make her regret her actions. Exactly 1 year ago, I married my husband Rhett. We were both salespeople working for the same company, and our office romance had culminated in marriage. I'm really sorry, Saren, but after we get married, could you quit your job and come live with my family? What my husband said after he proposed was bothersome. Honestly, I thought I could still work, and we don't have to live with his parents. Why do I have to quit my job? We don't even have children yet. Well, that's true, but I didn't mention it to you, but my mother has traditional values. She always said a wife should support her husband. So, if you're going to marry me, she insisted that you absolutely live in this house. Well, you know. Living at your parents' place is fine and all, but the job situation, you see. Please. Just like this. You don't have to worry about money. I'll work hard and earn more than enough. My husband implored me, bowing deeply. Well, if he insists so much. All right, it's a deal. Just make sure to earn plenty. So, persuaded by my husband, I agreed to live with my in-laws and quit my job. I couldn't say no after all the pleading. Plus, I really love my husband, and he's the one who's going to work hard in my place, so I'll be okay with it. Now, the day of our marriage introduction at my in-laws' house. When I arrived at their place, I couldn't help but let out a surprised exclamation at the sight of the house from the outside. What's with this house? It's huge! Rhett's parents' house was quite an impressive traditional Japanese home. When I asked him about this, he told me that his grandfather had started a successful transportation business, and they have substantial assets due to their diversified business ventures. Hello. Nervously, I entered my in-laws' house, where a woman well-dressed welcomed me at the entrance. Nice to meet you. I am Patricia, Rhett's mother. I've heard about you from my son. You must be Serenity, right? Yes, that's me. Nice to meet you, I'm Serenity. Please, come this way. As I was led into the house, I couldn't help but glance around nervously. Guided by Patricia, I entered the living room and sat on the sofa as she directed. Nice to meet you again, Serenity. Please take care of Rhett. Thank you very much. I look forward to getting along. Oh, I'm so nervous. As I thought about this, Patricia's expression turned serious. Becoming a part of this family means you'll have to learn the proper etiquette and manners. My husband passed away 10 years ago, unfortunately, and I am the head of this household. Here, traditional customs are strictly followed. Would you still be a part of our family and support Rhett? It seems like such an old-fashioned way of thinking, just like Rhett said. She seems a bit troublesome. But I hadn't thought about it that so seriously. Yes. I'll do my best. On that day, we met just for a greeting, and my husband and I left their house soon after. Hey, Rhett, your mom said all that But is your family really that strict? Well, not as strict with me, but my sister got quite an earful. Oh. You have a sister? Yeah. I never mentioned her before. I actually have a younger sister. She's out today, but I'll introduce you sometime. I'm curious about what his sister is like, but I'm sure she's a kind person. She's Rhett's sister. However, I was still unaware of the harsh days awaiting me in my in-laws' house. 6 months after moving in, despite receiving lessons on various household chores, I continued to face constant scolding from Patricia. Serenity, you're too slow. Move more briskly. If you clean this slowly, the day will be over. What's with this dish? The seasoning is too strong. If we keep eating something like this, we'll all die early. I had heard about the strict guidance during the initial greetings, but I never imagined it would be this tough. I'm sorry. I could only apologize to her. I had thought I could do cleaning, laundry, and cooking reasonably well, but being criticized like this left me feeling disheartened. Well, my mom just says it, because she thinks you need to toughen up. Don't take it too personally. I once vented to Rhett about how tough it was to be scolded by Patricia every day, but he couldn't really take it seriously. I don't believe there was any malice in how he said it, but I wished he could be a bit more understanding. 1 week later. As usual, I was cleaning the living room, while enduring complaints from Patricia. Suddenly, Rhett's sister, Aurora, spoke up. You're such a mess, getting scolded again. When we first started living together in my in-laws' house, she used to say, I'm really happy to have someone like a sister. She had been kind to me for a while, but perhaps because she had been observing me being scolded by Patricia every day, she had recently started making condescending remarks directed at me. Come on, Aurora. You don't have to say things like that. We're family, even if it's just by marriage. I said, but her response was icy. Oh, no. I don't think of us as family at all. What are you getting all confused about? Huh? I know, you know? I see you getting scolded by Mom every day. Well, do your best as a maid, and make sure you take care of me too, okay? Well, I'm off to play. Bye. With that, she left the house. What a rude person. I was beyond angry, I was just plain astonished. As I stood there, dumbfounded, I heard my mother-in-law's angry voice. Serenity? Do you have time to slack off? Get back to work now. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I didn't want to think about what might happen if I upset Patricia any further. I decided not to dwell on Aurora and returned to cleaning. 1 month later, I was summoned to the living room by Patricia. I wondered if I had done something wrong. I was scared that she might scold me. Serenity. Yes. What is it that you wanted to talk about? Just the two of us? You've been enduring my coaching quite well recently. Huh? I involuntarily made a strange noise in response to her words. I never expected to be praised. Don't make strange noises. You sound foolish. I'm sorry. Now, let's get to the point. There's a dinner party at this house on Sunday, and I've invited some long-standing acquaintances. I want you to prepare the food. My in-laws had long-standing relationships with government officials due to their family business. Me? Are you sure? I don't think my cooking would be suitable for such important guests. It's fine. I've trained you thoroughly for this kind of occasion. You're ready to face others now. Also, for what Aurora said earlier, I apologize on her behalf. About Aurora? You know she's been ridiculing you, right? Yes, you're aware of that. I wondered where she had overheard our conversations. When her father was alive, she wasn't like that. Both Rhett and Aurora were well disciplined. I know it's strange coming from me, but she used to be well-mannered. But after her father passed away, she started staying out late, and her behavior gradually worsened. I couldn't scold her because of that. It's like she rebelled against the strictness we imposed on her all these years. I see. I had no idea about such a past with them. Oh, I'm sorry. My story got off track. Well, you will do great for the dinner. Patricia said that and then left the living room. I wanted to decline her offer, but she trusted me on this. I'll give it my best shot. I've resolved to serve the best dishes I can at the dinner party. And so, on the day of the dinner party, besides Patricia and Rhett, Aurora as well has come to the house. There were about 5 government officials as guests, and they looked dignified, and seemed like people who always have good food. If I stick to what I usually do, everything should be fine. After a brief greeting to the guests, I quickly went into the kitchen. About 30 minutes into cooking, I heard Aurora's voice from the living room. She had become quite cheerful after a few drinks with the guests. Hey, is the food ready yet? Hurry up and bring it. You, maid. Once again, she referred to me as a maid. I wished she would stop. I knew she was calling me, but I continued cooking, ignoring her. Hey, seriously, why are you ignoring me? She seemed to lose patience, walking into the kitchen, and come up to me to say those words. Oh, there's no doubt. She still thinks of me as a maid, and underestimates me just like before. Huh. Oh, the food will be ready soon. Can you please wait a little? Still not ready? You're so slow. That's why Mom scolds you every day. Want me to poke her about your cooking, and get her mad again? Why do I have to endure this kind of attitude from her? If you are from this family, why not help out a bit? Gradually, anger began to well up inside me, towards her. It was infuriating to endure her disrespectful attitude for so long. I thought, maybe I should give her a piece of my mind. Just as I was thinking that, Patricia, who had come to check on us, spoke up. What are you doing? Oh, this is perfect. Saren is being so slow, the food isn't coming out at all. I was telling her to hurry up. She's poking fun at me anyway. Inside, I wanted to say that to Aurora, but it wasn't the right moment, because Patricia's expression clearly showed her anger. I'm sorry, I'll serve the food shortly. See? She got scolded again. As a maid, you should move briskly. Isn't that what you've been taught? Aurora, upon seeing me apologize, burst into laughter, clapping her hands. Stop fooling around. Why do I have to be called a maid by someone who's always out playing and hardly ever at home? I clenched my fist tightly, thinking about giving her a good punch. Thwack. A dry sound echoed in the kitchen. Aurora. Aren't you getting too full of yourself? Patricia didn't hold back, and slapped Aurora hard. Both Aurora and I were wide-eyed, and shocked by this sudden turn of events. What are you doing all of a sudden? It hurts. Answer my question first. Aren't you getting too full of yourself? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not getting full of myself at all. And, because of you all, I've had to endure such a suffocating life. Aurora, clearly irritated by the slap, confronted Patricia in an upsetting manner. In contrast, Patricia remained composed, though her expression clearly showed her anger. It was entirely different from the face she wore when she scolded me on a typical day. Even as someone accustomed to her angry face, I was so terrified that I wanted to leave the scene. You are not getting too full of yourself, is that so? Then why did you call Serenity a maid? Well, that's... But Mom, you've been bossing her around daily, right? And you're always scolding her, aren't you? Rhett said so too. She is getting bullied by Mom every day, and it's pitiful. She seems to want to justify herself, insisting that she's not at fault. She's desperately trying to justify her actions. You are saying I am bossing around her. I'm sure it seems that way to you, but you are entirely wrong. Once Serenity entered this house as Rhett's wife, it became necessary for her to handle everything perfectly, from her behavior to etiquette. That's why I strictly coached her every day. That's just sophistry. You're doing the same thing as me. She must be feeling terrible about getting scolded by you all the time. Indeed, there were times when I felt discouraged due to her scolding. But when I first met Patricia, I clearly stated that I would do my best to be a part of the family. That's why she teaches me various things, and I see it as a valuable experience now. It's utterly absurd for someone to call me a maid. As I pondered all of this, I reached my breaking point. Aurora, you know, what you're saying about us is wrong. Huh? What do you mean? You're definitely resenting Mom deep down, aren't you? I see it. What do you even understand about me? I don't want her to get on my nerves anymore. You don't understand anything. Sure, when I first came here, her way of coaching was strict, and I wanted to run away multiple times. But since I started thinking that she's doing it for my sake, it hasn't been difficult at all. Also, today, I am doing this all because your mom told me the dishes I make are excellent enough to serve important guests. Aurora fell silent and did not respond. She has been ridiculing me all the time, and now she's suddenly quiet. Looking at her ignoring what I said, I got heated. It's unbearable to be called a maid. Besides, you're from this family too, so instead of drinking and laughing around, why don't you lend a hand? I unintentionally raised my voice. Hey, what's with the loud voice? Upon hearing my voice, they must have thought it was something serious. Rhett, and our guests as well, started gathering from the living room towards the kitchen. Enough is enough. I'm going to tell everyone here. Just now, while I was cooking, she called me a maid and told me to hurry up. It angered me, and I ended up raising my voice. I'm sorry for the disturbance. As I deeply bowed, the important guests began to murmur. Did she really say something like that? Isn't it a bit too much to say that, just because she's been drinking? Though spoken quietly, the guests' voices were audible to my ears. Certainly, Aurora and Patricia should have heard them too. Aurora was clearly agitated. She probably never expected to be cornered like this. Serves her right. Everyone, you may have doubts, as you haven't witnessed the entire incident. But I was indeed told so. Right? Patricia? Yes, I heard it too. The part where she was talking to Serenity, while making fun of her. Her words must carry weight with everyone. Without hesitation, all the guests believed her statement. I never imagined she would be so rude to someone. The guests directed cold glances at her. She is, unlike me, lively and cheerful. Probably because she was raised by a strict father, she always maintains sophisticated language and polite behavior when interacting with others. People must have liked her. But that's all over now. Once it's come to this, her reputation is going to plummet. Shut up. You're all just saying whatever you like. I was only speaking the truth. What's wrong with that? Oh dear. She's defiant now. She has alienated everyone, with her aggressive behavior and shouts. Silence! However, after Patricia's sharp reprimand, Aurora falls silent once more. The fact that you've become like this is partly my fault. But, Aurora, your behavior and words are unacceptable. Someone who can casually call Serenity a maid while she's working so hard to learn many things for this family isn't needed in this house anymore. Never again set foot over this threshold. She delivered another icy statement. With this, even Aurora, who had been adamantly asserting that she was right just a while ago, paled. Huh? Wait, hold on. What do you mean by that? You don't understand? It means you're to leave this house. Clearly told to leave, she clung to Patricia, sniveling. Wait, please. If I'm kicked out of this house, what should I do? I don't have much money. What will happen to you? You can work hard to support yourself. Figure out the situation on your own. Don't you have enough money to go partying around at night? I won't take care of you at all. What a shame. She's supposed to be a working adult, yet she thoughtlessly spent money on parties, without considering the future. Oh, no. Well, for today, you can stay. But please leave tomorrow morning. Make sure you've packed your things by then. This means that she was expelled from her family. Seeing her sitting there, crying, my cheeks relaxed. She got herself into this mess by making fun of me without really knowing anything. Oh. Serenity, I'm sorry. You were in the middle of preparing a meal, weren't you? Can you continue? I'm quite hungry too. Patricia said with a smile. Oh. I think I'm seeing her smile for the first time. I never knew that she could have such a lovely smile. I glimpsed a side of her I didn't know about, and I couldn't help but smile too. Sure. I'll bring them right away. Afterward, I ignored Aurora in the kitchen who refused to move, and had a meal with the guests. Thanks to Patricia's lessons, the dishes received praise and acclaim from everyone. Among them, the braised lamb shanks that I learned from Patricia with her rebukes was particularly popular, with plates emptying in no time. Please let us have your delicious food again. Of course. I look forward to see you all again. Please take care on your way home. The guests left in high spirits. The dinner was a great success. When I tried to clean up the dishes, Aurora was still sitting in the kitchen. Oh well, she's in the way. I thought, but decided to ignore her, because starting a conversation could lead to more trouble. If you weren't here, everything would have been better, incompetent airhead. I can't just let something like that slide. Moreover, she is no longer a part of this family. Without fear, I grabbed her collar and whispered in her ear. It's fine if you want to keep blaming others like this forever. And I might be slow and incompetent like you say, but I am more worried about you. I wonder how society will evaluate you. Thrown out of your parents' house, but still acting like a kid, gallivanting around, without enough savings even to move out. You're a real fool. If you keep calling me incapable, a housemaid, or something like that, I'll make sure to tell everyone who know you about this. When I finished whispering in her ear, she began trembling. Wait, please forgive me. I've told everyone that I do everything by myself. Especially in front of people at work, I never talk about my nightlife, and I am telling that I've been working hard to save money, putting it in the house. I see. So, will you make a promise? Why yes, what promise is it? Never again, not only about me, but never underestimate anyone. Why yes, I promise. And with that, she rushed back to her room. It's a good feeling. I'm astounded by how hard she was trying to make herself look good, while belittling me, like this. The next morning, just as Patricia had told her to, she packed her things and left the house. Normally, it would be as simple as returning to her place for a person living alone, but this is different. With this, she can no longer return to this house. Watching her walk out of the house, I thought I never wanted to see her face again. 6 months have passed since that incident. I haven't seen her once. She hasn't visited this house, surprisingly keeping to what Patricia told her. However, 2 more months later, we received a call from the police about her. She had shoplifted food. Patricia and I went to the police station immediately to meet her. What were you thinking? Why did you do this? Since then, I've felt completely apathetic. I was diagnosed with depression, and I quit my job. My income stopped, and I couldn't even afford to buy groceries. Patricia was completely exasperated by her explanation. When I asked if she had been looking for another job, she said that she had been rejected everywhere. I went to an interview at a certain place, and I thought, I answered politely and clearly, but they told me, "Are you making fun of us?" I maybe slipped and said something bad during the interview. Since that day, I haven't ridiculed anyone, and I've been careful with my language. But it seems like it still looks that way, and I can't seem to break that. Well, see? That's how you appear to others. I don't know what she was told by Patricia after that, because I was asked to leave the room, but I am pretty sure she was heavily scolded. Meanwhile, Patricia is angry every day. I haven't seen her smile since that day. I hope to make more efforts to gain her approval and bring her smile every day.